Picture two people graduating the same year with the same amount of savings. One of them spends the next 2 years building an app. It's beautiful. It's clever. Investors love the pitch deck. And 18 months later, it's dead because nobody actually needed it. The other person buys a small pressure washing business from a guy who's retiring. No app, no investors, no pitch deck, just a truck, some equipment, and a list of customers who've been paying the same company for driveway cleaning every spring for the last 6 years. 5 years later, the app founder is job hunting again. The pressure washing guy is turning down offers to buy him out for 7 figures. Nobody claps for the second story. There's no viral tweet about it, but it happens more often than you'd think. And once you understand why, you'll never look at boring the same way again. Here's the belief almost everyone quietly carries around. Exciting equals valuable and boring equals worthless. We're taught this from a young age without anyone ever saying it out loud. The businesses that get magazine covers are the flashy ones. Self-driving cars, rockets, apps that change how we date or shop or scroll. Meanwhile, the guy who owns the local HVAC repair company doesn't get a Netflix documentary made about him, even if he's quietly worth more than most startup founders will ever be. This creates a strange trap in how we think about money and opportunity. We start believing that the only path to wealth is the exciting one. High risk, high drama, and hopefully someday a huge payoff. But here's the psychological trick your brain is playing on you. Your brain is wired to pay attention to novelty and excitement, not to actually calculate long-term value. That's a survival instinct from thousands of years ago, when noticing something new and different actually mattered. It has nothing to do with what makes a good business today. So while everyone's chasing the exciting thing, almost nobody is paying attention to the businesses that quietly print money every single month, recession or not, because they solve a problem people will always have. That's where boring businesses live, and that's exactly why they work. Let's define what we actually mean by a boring business, because it's not about being dull for the sake of it. A boring business is a company that solves a problem people need solved regardless of what the economy is doing. Plumbing, laundromats, vending machines, pest control, landscaping, cleaning services, accounting for small businesses, self-storage units. None of these make headlines. All of them make money, year after year, whether the stock market is up or crashing. Think about it this way. Imagine the economy is a storm and every business is a boat sailing through it. A flashy startup is like a small sailboat with a beautiful design built for speed when the winds are perfect. But the moment a real storm hits, a recession, rising interest rates, a shift in consumer spending, that sailboat gets tossed around because it was never built to handle bad weather. It was built to look good in a photo. A boring business is more like a tugboat. It's not glamorous, nobody's Instagramming it, but it was built to work in every kind of weather because pipes still burst during a recession, weeds still grow during a recession, people still need their carpets cleaned, their taxes filed, and their trash picked up, no matter what's happening on Wall Street. This is the first psychological shift you need to make. Stop asking, what's exciting, and start asking, what will people always need, no matter what happens? Now here's where it gets interesting, because starting a boring business doesn't mean starting from scratch. This is the part almost nobody talks about. There is a wave coming. Millions of small business owners, the people who own these plumbing companies, laundromats, and local service businesses, are getting older. Many of them are in their 60s and 70s. They built something real over 20 or 30 years, and they're ready to retire. But here's the catch. A huge number of them have no one to sell to. Their kids don't want to take over the family HVAC company. They want to work in tech or move to a different city. So what happens? Often, these business owners either shut the doors entirely, letting decades of steady profit disappear, or they sell for far less than the business is actually worth, simply because there's no buyer lined up. This is where a completely different path to wealth opens up. Instead of building a business from zero, which is slow, risky, and mentally exhausting, you can acquire an existing one that already has customers, already has cash flow, and already works. You're not betting on an idea. You're buying a machine that's already proven it makes money. Think of it like the difference between building a car from spare parts in your garage versus buying a car that's already running, already has years of maintenance records, and already gets you from point A to point B reliably. One of those options has years of unknown risk baked into it. The other one you can test drive before you buy. This strategy even has a name in the business world. It's often described using the acronym ETA, which stands for Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition. In simple terms, instead of starting something new, you find a solid, unglamorous, already profitable business, and you buy it. usually using a combination of your own savings, a loan, and sometimes even financing structured around the business's own future profits. The beauty of this approach is that boring businesses tend to be undervalued precisely because they're boring. Nobody's fighting over who gets to buy the local pest control company. There's no bidding war like there is for the trendy startup. That lack of competition works in your favor. Now here's a modern twist on all of this. Artificial intelligence is quietly becoming one of the biggest advantages a small boring business owner can have. Most people think AI is only useful for tech companies and coders. That's actually backwards. The businesses benefiting the most from AI right now are small, unglamorous operations because AI is handling the parts of running a business that used to require an entire team. Imagine you now own that pest control company. AI tools can handle scheduling and dispatching your technicians automatically, so you don't need a full-time office manager just to organize routes. AI can write and send follow-up messages to customers reminding them their quarterly treatment is due, which used to require someone manually tracking spreadsheets. AI can answer basic customer questions through a chatbot at midnight when a homeowner suddenly notices ants in the kitchen and wants to book someone for tomorrow morning. This means a single owner today can run a business that, 10 years ago, would have needed 5 employees just to keep the back office running. The overhead drops, the profit margin grows, and the business becomes even more resilient during a downturn because you're not carrying as much payroll weight. This is the quiet advantage nobody's talking about. While everyone associates AI with disrupting flashy tech jobs, it's actually the boring businesses, the ones doing simple, repeatable, essential work that are becoming leaner and more profitable because of it. Here's the deeper psychological truth hiding underneath all of this. Most people don't build wealth because they're chasing something exciting. They build wealth because they solved a boring problem, consistently, for a long period of time, while other people were too distracted by shinier options to notice the opportunity sitting right in front of them. Wealth doesn't usually come from being first to a brand new idea. It comes from being reliable at something ordinary that other people don't want to do. There's a strange kind of math that plays out here. The less exciting a business sounds, the less competition there usually is to get into it, and the more room there is for you to succeed simply by showing up consistently and doing solid work. This connects to something called delayed gratification, a concept you've probably heard of, but let's simplify it completely. Imagine 2 kids are each given a cookie, but told that if they wait 15 minutes without eating it, they'll get a second cookie. Most people, when it comes to money, act like the kid who eats the cookie immediately. They want the exciting business, the fast win, the quick story to tell at a dinner party. The person who ends up wealthy is usually the one willing to wait, to run something unglamorous for years, reinvest the profits, and let the business slowly compound, rather than needing an instant, exciting payoff. That's the real blueprint. Not luck, not a genius idea. Patience applied to something practical. So what does this actually mean for you? First, shift how you evaluate opportunity. Instead of asking what's trending, ask what problem will still exist in 20 years. People will always need their homes repaired, their cars serviced, their pests removed, and their trash hauled away. Boring, permanent problems make for boring, permanent income. Second, understand that buying an existing business is a real, legitimate path, not just something for people with millions of dollars. Many small service businesses sell for a fraction of what people assume, and financing options exist specifically to help someone acquire a profitable, already running company rather than build one from nothing. Third, don't underestimate small efficiency tools like AI. You don't need to build the next big tech company to benefit from modern technology. You just need to use it to make an ordinary business run leaner, faster, and with fewer headaches. And finally, get comfortable with boring. Boring doesn't mean unprofitable. Boring often means stable, needed, and overlooked, which in the world of money is usually where the best opportunities are quietly waiting. So, the next time you see 2 paths in front of you, one loud, exciting, and uncertain, and the other quiet, steady, and unglamorous, remember the pressure-washing guy and the app founder. One of them chased a story worth telling. The other one chased a problem worth solving. Only one of them is still standing when the storm hits. Maybe the real blueprint for success was never about being exciting at all. Maybe it was about being the one thing almost nobody wants to be. Consistently, boringly, reliably useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.